You're putting in the hours. Your calendar is a fortress of blocked-out time. Your to-do list is a masterpiece of organization, but you still crawl into bed at night feeling completely fried. And those big important goals, they feel just as far away as they did last month. You're perpetually running on a low battery and you have no idea why. You're doing everything you're supposed to do, but your productivity has just flatlined. What if the problem isn't that you're lazy or not working hard enough? What if the real issue is that your mental energy is silently leaking away? Imagine your focus and drive are like water in a bucket. The problem is that bucket is riddled with tiny invisible holes. All day long, your most precious resource is just draining out, drop by drop. That feeling of being constantly busy but never actually productive. It's a classic symptom of a problem that time management hacks will never, ever fix. The old advice to just manage your time better is officially broken. Why? Because time is finite. You get 24 hours and that's it. But your energy, your physical, mental, and emotional horsepower is a completely different story. It goes up and down, it can be drained, and most importantly, it can be managed. The real secret to insane productivity isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about protecting and intelligently using your energy. So we're going to find and plug the 5 hidden leaks that are sabotaging your best efforts. These are the subtle, often unconscious habits that drain your brain power and leave you exhausted. Stick with me, and you'll walk away with a clear game plan to stop the leaks, build some serious momentum, and finally start crushing the goals that actually matter to you. Leak number 1, the multitasking illusion. The first and most common energy leak is the grand illusion of multitasking. We've all been tricked into thinking that juggling 5 things at once is a sign of a high performer. But here's the hard truth from neuroscience. Your brain literally cannot multitask. It's a myth. What you're actually doing is switching tasks at lightning speed. And every time you switch from that report to your email to that text and back again, you leave a little piece of your focus behind. Scientists have a name for this: attention residue. Think of it this way. When you jump to a new task, a part of your brain is still chewing on the last one. This residue clutters up your mental workspace, making it impossible to focus deeply. It's a perfect recipe for shallow work, sloppy mistakes, and hitting a wall of mental exhaustion by 3 p.m. Trying to do everything at once guarantees you'll do nothing well, and it drains your mental battery faster than almost anything else. So how do we plug this leak? The fix is refreshingly simple. You have to practice single tasking. This is the art of giving one thing and only one thing your undivided attention. The best way to do this is with a technique like the Pomodoro method. Set a timer for 25 minutes and commit to a single task. When that timer dings, you take a 5-minute break. During that 25-minute sprint, your phone is on silent, email is closed, and every last notification is turned off. This isn't about discipline for discipline's sake. It's about creating a sanctuary for your focus. When you give yourself clean, uninterrupted blocks of time, you eliminate attention residue and unlock that deep state of focus known as flow. You'll get higher quality work done in less time, and you'll end the day feeling accomplished, not scattered. Leak number 2, decision fatigue. Our second hidden leak is decision fatigue. Did you know your brain has a daily budget for making good decisions? From the second you wake up, you start spending it. What should I wear? What's for breakfast? Should I check email or start that report? Gym now or later? Each of these seemingly tiny choices chips away at your mental resources. By the time you get to the big, needle-moving decisions, your cognitive bank account is already overdrawn. This is why, in the evening, you might make impulsive choices or just default to the path of least resistance, like ordering takeout instead of cooking or zoning out on social media instead of reading. You've simply run out of decision-making fuel. The plug for this leak is to build decision-free rituals. The goal is to put the predictable parts of your day on autopilot so you can save your best brain power for work that matters. Start with a simple evening ritual. Before bed, take 7 minutes to plan the next day. Lay out your clothes, pack your bag, and, most importantly, identify your top 1 to 3 priorities. This simple act offloads dozens of future decisions. Next, craft a non-negotiable morning routine. For the first hour of your day, you shouldn't have to make a single choice. Maybe it's wake up, drink water, get 10 minutes of morning sunlight to set your circadian rhythm, meditate, and then immediately start your number 1 task. When your morning runs on a script, you show up to your desk with a full tank of cognitive fuel, ready to tackle the hard stuff. Leak Chapter 3: The Open Loop Catastrophe. The third major energy drain is what I call the open loop catastrophe. An open loop is anything you've let into your world that isn't finished. That unanswered email, that half-done project, that looming deadline, that nagging worry, even that brilliant idea you haven't written down. Your brain treats every single one of these like an urgent, unfinished task. And it will burn background energy reminding you about them over and over and over again. This is the source of that constant low-grade hum of anxiety so many of us feel. It's the mental weight of a dozen unresolved things all screaming for your attention. This mental clutter is incredibly draining. It stops you from being fully present because your brain is constantly running a background program of everything else you could or should be doing. To plug this leak, you need a trusted external system to close the loops. Your brain is for having ideas, not for holding them. The second a task, idea, or worry pops into your head, get it out. Capture it in a trusted place. A notebook, a notes app, a task manager, whatever works for you. Just doing a 2-minute mind dump and writing down everything swirling in your head can bring an incredible sense of clarity. By getting these open loops out of your head, you send a signal to your brain that they're accounted for. Your brain can finally relax and stop wasting energy on reminders. Then, once or twice a day, you can review your system to organize and prioritize. This even works for worries. If you're anxious about something, schedule a 15-minute worry window in your day where you have full permission to freak out. When a worry pops up outside that time, you just tell yourself, nope, I'll deal with that at 4 p.m. and get back to it. You contain the anxiety instead of letting it leak all over your day. Leak 4: Unprotected peak hours. Ever notice how there are times of day when you feel sharp, creative, and totally on fire, and other times when you feel like you're trying to think through mud? That's not in your head. Our energy and brain function operate in cycles, largely driven by our internal body clock or circadian rhythm. Everyone has a 2-3 hour window of peak mental performance, and for most people, it's in the mid-morning. This is when your ability to do complex, demanding, and creative work is at its absolute highest. The fourth energy leak is letting these golden hours go to waste. For most people, the day goes something like this. They sit down at their desk during their prime cognitive window and immediately open email, scroll social media, or get dragged into a pointless meeting. They are literally throwing their best energy at their least important tasks. They spend their genius hours on administrative junk, then try to tackle a huge project in their afternoon slump. It's a recipe for frustration. Plugging this leak means becoming a fierce guardian of your energy. First, you have to conduct an energy audit. For 1 week, just track your energy levels on a scale of 1 to 10, hour by hour. A pattern will emerge pretty quickly, revealing your personal peak performance window. Once you know your best hours, you have to protect them like a bulldog. That block of time is for your most important task of the day. Period. It's non-negotiable. Block it out on your calendar like it's the most important meeting you'll have all year. During this time, all distractions are dead to you. Use website blockers. Put your phone in another room and let your colleagues know you're in a deep work session. When you align your hardest tasks with your highest energy, you're working with your biology, not against it. You'll get more done in those 2 focused hours than in 5 hours of distracted, low-energy struggling. Leak 5. Emotional vampires. The final, and maybe the most treacherous energy leak, comes from emotional vampires. These are the people in your life, co-workers, friends, maybe even family, who consistently leave you feeling drained, frustrated, and exhausted after every single interaction. They're the chronic complainers, the perpetual victims, the drama magnets, and the endless critics. This isn't just a feeling, it's a real physiological event. Negative social interactions trigger a flood of the stress hormone cortisol, which over time messes with your cognitive function, disrupts your sleep, and absolutely demolishes your energy reserves. Letting these toxic dynamics continue is like leaving a giant tap wide open, pouring your vitality right down the drain. Plugging this leak requires courage. The tool you need is firm boundaries. A boundary isn't a wall you build to shut people out. It's a line you draw to protect your own sanity and energy. Honestly, learning to say no when you mean no is one of the most powerful acts of energy preservation there is. Start by just noticing which relationships and interactions consistently leave you feeling depleted. Once you see it clearly, you can start creating distance. This could mean limiting your time with certain people, learning to gracefully end a conversation when it turns into a complaint fest, or simply refusing to get sucked into their drama. You can be polite but firm. I've got to focus on my work, so I can't talk about that right now, or I'm sorry to hear you're struggling, but I'm not able to help with that. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's the first requirement for showing up as your best self for the people and projects that actually deserve it. All right, let's do a quick recap of the 5 energy leaks and their plugs. First, we had the multitasking illusion, which you're going to crush with focused single-tasking. Second was decision fatigue, which you'll beat with decision-free rituals. Third, the open-loop catastrophe, which you'll solve by using a trusted external system. Fourth, those unprotected peak hours, which you'll reclaim with an energy audit. And fifth, the emotional vampires, who you'll manage by setting firm boundaries. For too long, we've been told that success is just about hustling harder and managing time better. But you can't change the direction of a parked car, and you can't hit your potential when your tank is empty. Your energy is your single greatest asset. It's the fuel for your focus, your creativity, and your willpower. So stop thinking about productivity as a war against the clock. Start thinking of it as the practice of cultivating and protecting your energy. Your daily rituals are the armor that protects it. Your focus is the weapon you wield. And your discipline isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. The freedom to direct your full power toward what you truly want to build. When you stop the leaks and take control of your energy, you don't just get more done. You feel more alive. If this helped you find an energy leak in your own life, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for more strategies on how to work smarter, not harder. Now, I've got a question for you. Which of these 5 leaks is draining you the most right now? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear which one you're going to plug first. Thanks for watching, and go protect your energy.